Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. I am happy to join you this morning, and I'm gonna try something a little new to me. Hopefully nobody interrupts us. I just realized that I forgot to put on the do not disturb. That is the one thing when you're doing a live video that really makes it fun when somebody keeps calling you. So hopefully most everybody that knows me knows that I'm doing a live this morning, but you know, it happens. So let me get my video pulled up here. Good morning. Happy Saturday, right? Who is so excited for the weekend? I am really excited because if you saw my video the other day on Thursday, I did an unboxing of the new products that I got. Of course, there's a ton more new products than what I received, but I am pretty excited to play with those. Good morning, Jarvetta. So this morning, I want to do something. I'm not a watercolorer, but Stampin' Up! Kind of gives us a good start with their watercolor pencils. So I want to try my hand at that again. It's been quite a while since I've watercolored. You can watercolor with the water painters and your ink pads, or even your ink refills. And we have watercolor pencils. So I'm gonna show you some things with the watercolor pencils. Let's see. Good morning, Vicki. Good morning, Jarvetta. Good morning, Shirley. I have my coffee too. And I know this is backwards, but my coffee says, and so the adventure begins. So this morning, we're gonna have a little adventure ourselves. Good morning, Linda. I am so happy to see you all. So today, I borrowed some tips from, I'm probably going to butcher her name, but I forget where she is from. Jenny actually sent me a YouTube video of this lady watercoloring and her tips, and her card was beautiful. Mine, I think mine turned out okay. Her name is Mia Selenia, and I will link at the end of our video, I'm going to link her YouTube video in mine because her card was beautiful and her tips are great, and I am not going to be able to give you tips like she did because I'm not very good at watercoloring. So, you know, I think I do it well enough. But I am definitely not a professional watercolorer. I only claim to be an expert at making craft messes and cards. So let me tell you a little bit of things that I have. Oh, Jarvetta just got the pencil. So I will try to recreate Mia's tips. Like I said, I was happy to find this because I didn't use, or I haven't done the things that she mentioned. So I think they are great. Yes, she did, Jenny. And thank you so much for sending me that video because I was pretty excited to get this, this set. So I'm going to be using this Nature's Harvest. This is brand new in the mini catalog. So it just became available to everybody August 3rd. So I'm going to show you when I point you down in the catalog because this is a whole suite of goodness. And I want to show you all the dies. We can do a couple different things today, or we can do kind of like what my sample was. I just have a hodgepodge here. I have no exact plan. We are going to decide together and have some fun with the creative process. So let's get started. I'm going to point us down so I can go ahead and get you guys going on that. We have some fun later today. I'm going to be celebrating lots of birthdays in our family, and we're hosting a cookout, so that should be fun. And I want to make sure we kind of stay on track today because I need to stay on track today. So I haven't had a chance to play a ton with this, but it's definitely on my to-do list for this upcoming week. Ooh, yes, Vicki, this is gorgeous. I played with a couple of the stamp sets, or the stamps in the set, so they are gorgeous. They're gorgeous. Hey, Pam, you're not late. You're not late. You're good. I'm just getting ready to point down, and I'm going to show you what we're doing today and what we're going to have some fun with. So let me housekeep here. Here we go. Okay, so as I said, I will link to Mia's video because, well, she does a wonderful job, and you deserve to see her video because mine is not so great. Mine's probably overly done. I tend to, I'm trying to open some ribbon as I talk, in case you hear that. I tend to really oversaturate things, and I think I kind of did that here as well, but we're going to recreate it a little bit, and we'll see. So let me show you this suite because I've only bought 2 full suites, and I think this is a must-have. It has lots of gorgeous things included in it, and I'm going to show you those. So this was my first attempt. Let me change my camera angle just a tad. Maybe. Sometimes my stand doesn't want to agree. So this is my first attempt. I don't think it looks as smooth, but I do like it. I mean, I do like how it turned out, and I think it's going to be different every single time that you watercolor. So when you're practicing, you know, practice is my motto. You have to practice with the mediums that you want to use and the techniques. It's not going to work out the first time. It isn't. I have used these watercolor pencils before, so even though I haven't played with them for a while, I did know already how they worked. So don't be scared to just play and be okay with whatever those results are, because as you play, you are going to build your confidence. You're going to learn your own tips. You're going to learn, like I was really heavy-handed here. You're just going to learn how you are when you use these, because we're all different and how we create is different. So it is okay to not be perfect or end up just like somebody else's project. I do too, Vicki. I love Black Eyed Susans. And so this set really called to me. I love this image. So here's the suite. The suite is called Harvest Meadow, and it has so many fun things. And so I have all these things over here. We can use all of them. We can make a really simple card. We can do whatever. I'm game, and I want to play. So I think Very Vanilla is a great base for this. So I did bring over a Very Vanilla base. I was also thinking of Crumb Cake, but I wanted to show you this. I don't know if you guys can see this texture. This is the new time-worn type 3D embossing folder. So I showed you this on the unboxing, and I don't know if you can see all that texture or not. It's kind of shiny over here, but that is what this is right here. It comes in this suite, and it is so pretty. I love it. So I did a piece of Crumb Cake, just in case we want to throw something on, you know. And of course, I have a ton of stuff behind me already cut. If you don't know, I know I say this all the time, but in case you're new to my video, I keep card bases cut up in the standard size that we use here in the US, which is literally half a sheet of 8.5 by 11. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. It's scored at 4 1/4. And I like to pre-score my whole sheet, and then I cut it in half, and I have 2 card bases. So let me just crease that. Yeah, that wasn't perfect because I'm on top of the catalog, but that's okay. Oh, echinacea. Yeah, true. Yes, a coneflower. I think they could be just about anything, really. I mean, I know that the middle's kind of puffed up, but I think you could have a lot of fun coloring these. So even if you take some artistic liberty here and use just your favorite colors, don't feel limited by, you know, if you want it to look realistic, great. If you just want to have fun with it, like this is a sample over here, just have fun with it. These are watercolored, I believe, and I'm going to show you these because they're so pretty, and I think you can have a lot of fun with it. So I have very vanilla, but like I said, I can grab anything from my back here, back behind me in my supplies. So this suite is gorgeous. This is one of my favorite things. It's called a diamond weave ribbon, and it is definitely a very vanilla, but it's very vintage. And if you might not have been crafting me for very long, but Jenny knows, and some of my other ladies that have crafted with me for a while, I love vintage looking cards. That is just my jam. I love vintage things, and I like them to make them look vintage. So this is perfect. And you get quite a bit. Look at this roll. It's huge. So that's in there. We have these beautiful, let me open them so you don't have a glare, these beautiful brushed metallic adhesive back dots. Let me take them out. So you get 3 colors in there, and there's 2 sizes. So you have bronze, copper, and gold. And so I think these can add wonderful, a wonderful touch to any card. And we also have that brushed metallic cardstock that came back in here as well. So that would pair great. And then we have this Harvest Meadow paper. And let me show you this, because you really, in the catalog, you can see it. You can definitely tell patterns you're going to like. Ooh, yeah, Pam, blanket flowers. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Really, the line drawing is open enough. I think we can make tons of great flowers with it. So it's definitely one of my favorites. So I want to show you this paper before I cut it up. It's 12 by 12. It is gorgeous. So this kind of has like wheat and some different leaves, and kind of mimics these die cuts right here. And then you have a beautiful bumblebee, and it's kind of a watercolor with a little design. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. I don't know what to call it, but it's on this several times. The crumb cake's also in this. And so you have Calypso Coral. You have these very beautiful papers. This is, I think, one of my favorites in the set. This kind of mimics the embossing folder, the texture. Good morning, Rochelle. Thanks for joining us. I'm just showing the Harvest Meadow suite. We're going to be using the stamp set to watercolor this morning. So I love these colors, and I love just the different patterns of wheat and fall flowers, and I love these designs. This reminds me of a sunflower. I'm not sure if that's what it was intended to be, but that's what it reminds me of on the pattern. And we do have a sunflower in the annual catalog, so this would pair great with it as well. Again, another kind of watercolor washed look. So you have lights and darks areas, and then this really pretty pattern. I love vintage patterns. So these are just gorgeous, gorgeous papers. Really fun patterns. This is very fun. And that's the paper. So you can use it and layer it. You can you can have so much fun with just that. You don't need all the dyes. You could pair that with some sentiments. And then this paper is really fun looking, and the texture is really cool. You only get 2 sheets, but it is totally worth it. This is a 12 by 12 cork specialty paper. So that's really fun. I thought we might cut into that today. So that is the suite, and you get the Nature's Harvest bundle, which is right here. I'm going to show you that. So you get these beautiful dies, and you have some standalone dies like this. That's what these are. You can watercolor these. You could sponge them. You could even use blends. So, and then there's a branch, or just like a twig, or I don't know, something that sticks up. And then we have these really fun labels, and then you have 2 dies that cut out this image and this image. And I love both of them. So I wanted you to see these as well, because today we could use these in watercolor, or we can do the stamped image, which is a lot more detail. I'm just gonna throw these back into my case so I don't lose them. Always put them away if you're like me. You never know where they're going to end up. So I have this stamp set, and what we're going to use is the Stampin' Up's Fluid 100 watercolor paper. I've only have really experience with Stampin' Up's paper. Like I said, I'm not a trained artist, so this is what Stampin' Up gives us, and this is what I'm using. So I do have some paper towels. I'm going to grab some more, just because I don't want to saturate this. As you can see, I kind of did that this morning when I was painting. But I'm going to use this to try to catch some of that water. I do have a little bowl of water. Oh, that makes me nervous. And then I'm going to bring in 2 of our water painters. So our water painters come in a set of 3. You have a small tip, or relatively small, a medium, and then let me grab the other one. It's very wide, that you can use to make backgrounds. So this is what you get in your 3-pack, and they're definitely worth it. They're very fun. You can use them, like I said, with our ink pads to watercolor, or you can use them with our watercolor pencils. I'm trying to get a few things out of the way here. So we have 2 sets of watercolor pencils, and I've just grabbed some from each set. And I'm going to use, let's see what else. Oh, I have Sahara Sand ink. So when you stamp with our classic inks, warning, I stamped this and actually didn't watercolor it right away, but it can bleed. So it can, if you add a ton of water, it can turn into a no-line watercolor picture, which is fine. That is a technique in and of itself. But just be careful about what color you use if you're planning to watercolor, because it will mix. And especially because we're going to use watercolor paper. So you can also use the StazOns, and I believe we have 2 colors. Let me just double check that. Specialty inks here. So on page 129 we have StazOn, and we have Saddle Brown, so if you want the brown color, or we have Jet Black. And you'll notice there's a StazOn cleaner listed because stays on, requires a special cleaner. Our Stampin' Mist will not clean that off your stamps. Okay, who's excited? You guys want to see, you guys want to just do this one again? Same one I did, this right here. And maybe we'll change it up. I can grab some purples and pinks out of here and do a purple flower instead of the, I used Cajun Craze. The colors I used on this were Cajun Craze, Crushed Curry, and where did my other yellow go? Oh man. Hope I didn't already lose one of my pencils. Daffodil Delight. So those are the colors I used on this. And I used Grainy Apple Green and Old Olive. So we also have Garden Green. Now, if you were to use your ink pads, you would have a much wider variety of colors, but that's a completely different technique for the watercolor. So today we're just going to focus on the pencils. Just putting this on my block. And we can finish up our card and dress it up with whatever we want. So I'm going to lay this off to the side. And I'm just inking this up. By gently tapping. I want to make sure that I get all the detail, but I don't want to get a halo. And yes, I did not cut this yet. We will cut it down. So if you like to save part of your watercolor paper, you could trim it down ahead of time. I don't really use small strips of the watercolor paper, so I am okay with using the full sheet because I want to be able to use the full sheet. So I may have stamped that a little high. That's all right, because we are going to cut it down. We'll just go with it. Probably a little too high, but that's okay, because I may really cut it down to fit on my card, depending on how I design it. Okay, I'm just cleaning that a little bit. And that was Sahara Sand that I stamped it in. And I probably should have not stamped on the towel. Let me grab some extra paper towels. Just so I can clean my brushes. So who on this morning loves to watercolor? Trying to clean that brush. Bermuda Bay really stained my tip. Pam does. Okay. Pam, I hope I enhance your experience. I have to admit, I'm not super great at watercoloring. Let's do, you guys want to do a purple flower? Let me grab Gorgeous Grape. And what do we have over here? Razzleberry. Oh, yikes. Sorry about that. All my pencils just went flying. Okay, Linda's never tried it. Linda, do you have the watercolor pencils? Jenny, yeah, after watching her video and some of her tips, Mia shows 3 things that she does. And she talks about using just lines, and then she talks about using a light touch, and then she used a paintbrush. I don't have a small paintbrush, but I'm going to use the Stampin' Up! Water painter. She dips it, and then she talks about how she moves that color. And then the third thing that she does is she takes her brush to the tip. And she either takes the color from the tip and then paints, or she uses this to wet the tip and activate the watercolor pencil, and then that's where the dots and things come from. So I will link her video in the comments when I'm all done and I post my video, because I really think her video has a lot of great value, and she explains her tips wonderfully, which I will probably not do them any justice. So I'm just going to basically pass on to you what I gained from her video and how I'm applying it. Yeah, I'm pretty messy too when it comes to watercoloring, and really one of the most used techniques that I do is with the ink pads and the water painter. So but it's just been so long since I've done that. So one of the things that she talks about is using just coloring on. I'm gonna do that with the stems. So I'm just gonna like add it in. It's not perfect. I'm not coloring it in completely. I'm not worried. And you know, I keep hearing the number one thing with watercoloring is to leave white space, and I'm not very good at that. So I'm going to, I have a paper towel over here to the side. I'm not going to use that really large water painter. I'm just going to use this little one at first, and I want my tip to be wet, but I'm not going to squeeze this. This tube actually holds water. I'm just going to use the water that I've already put in the tip. And I'm just smearing it around, basically. This activates, the water activates the pencil that you put onto the page and softens it. This is about the best way I can watercolor. My kids always loved watercolored pencils. So I've owned some different brands. I don't know if they were really a good professional brand or not, because I just bought cheap ones for my kids. But they loved doing this because then they would take a paintbrush and color around. So I just applied some water, nothing fancy. And then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna try her technique. Let me take that back off. Where you pick up the color from the tip. So I'm just literally rubbing onto the tip, and you can see on my brush a little bit there how I'm picking up. Now this is Old Olive. We do have Garden Green if you want to stay with that brighter green. And I'm gonna add this right under where the stems would maybe have a little bit of a shadow. Again, not a professional, so I could be doing shadows wrong. I don't know. I'm just going with it. I missed a few comments. So once again, Vicki and Jenny are always blaming me for making them want things. Vicki, you never regret watching me, I hope. So I'm just literally taking some color off that tip and applying it where I kind of want a shadow or darker colors. Like I said, you just have to be careful because that Sahara sand is going to maybe react to that water that you're putting onto the watercolor paper. Now, one of the reasons why I use the watercolor paper is because it really moves the color. So you could try this on the basic white, but you will not get the same results. That I know. And I do like to use the basic white sometimes. It depends on really how you want the effect to use and how much water you want to use. So I'm just adding in that Old Olive. And it's just random. I don't have any rhyme or reason. No regrets. So I'm just cleaning my brush. I just am squirting water and literally wiping it off. Now I used Bermuda Bay and that seemed to have stained my water painter. Hey Lori, good morning. Yeah, Pam, I agree. When you use the regular basic white paper, it does pill. It gets oversaturated, and pilling is just simply when your cardstock starts to separate. So I have watercolored on basic white, but I tend to not use, I don't squirt this, and I tend to use a very dry tip, which is different because your color doesn't move the same. So like I said, I don't have a ton of experience. I probably do it all wrong, but that's okay. So what I did is I picked up the Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to do that same technique, and I'm just going to come back in and add some brighter spots. And if you want, you can also dip this directly in water. So that activates your watercolor pencil right on the tip. And you get a very saturated color versus when you color on your paper and then add it. I'm going to add in some. So you can switch back and forth. And I think I'm going to color right on this. What do you guys think so far? You following me? You think you can recreate these tips? I hope so. If you have questions, I'll try to answer them. Pam may be the expert on the video. Okay, so I forget. Do the purple cone flowers, do they have a brown middle too? I think they do. I'm going to do the middles last, and I'm going to do the background. Actually, I'm going to do the middles and then the background. So let's see. Let's get into our flowers. I'm going to just put on random colorings. I probably could have stamped this just a tad better, but so I'm just going to put on some color, and I'm not being perfect. I'm not trying to color in every petal. I'm just adding some color on, and I'm going to try to move it around. I'm probably doing it way too heavy-handed. And I'm going to try to leave a little bit of white space. We'll see. We'll see if I'm successful. You may hear my children. I hear them running through the upstairs. So I'm just adding on these purples that are in the watercolor set are Gorgeous Grape and Rich Razzleberry. Good morning, Dad. Whoa, whoa, don't drop your water thing. So I just squeezed a little bit, so this is just a little wet, and I'm just going to smear that color around that I put on. Oh, Beth. That was really messy. That's okay. I might go back in with some more of that purple, that Gorgeous Grape purple. Again, I'm trying to be really careful not to oversaturate too much because I don't want to lose. I'm not trying the no line watercoloring, even though that might be what it ends up being. I'm trying to move where I put that color down with the pencil. but not lose the definition of my stamped flower. And of course, cone flowers are really a light purple or a darker purple. So I'm gonna come back in with that gorgeous grape for sure. I think that rich razzleberry was just too pink. So I'm gonna do the technique, and I just wiped this off to clean it a little bit. I'm gonna do the technique where I pick up the color and really add that in to some spots.
Mom, I forgot about something. The birthday cake.
I'll get it, Joe, okay? Sorry. Joe came down because he was worried that I forgot about the birthday cake for the birthday party today. But you guys are first. I am playing for a little bit before I get busy on all my tasks for our party this evening. So I probably lost, like I said, a little bit of that definition. When you see other people that are really good at this do it, you'll probably understand why mine isn't great. But if you like your results, it's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay that mine's not going to come out exactly the same. I'm applying the techniques in my own way. So I'm going to do the middle now. And I have early espresso, and I'm going to apply some here like this. And I'm also going to apply some crushed curry. I love this yellowy brown. You can probably hear my kids playing. Sorry about that. And I'm just going over back and forth. So depending on how you apply your pencils or and how much pressure you put is going to determine the color that comes out when you add the water. So you can always layer. I'm just going over this, and I'm going over the dark side first. And then I'm going to clean my brush and come back in. And I may add some more. So I'm going to wipe that off. And then I'm going to do this side. And mix that brown, that early espresso and that crushed curry. One moment, please. So sorry about that. I asked Joe to take his sword battle outside so that you guys could hear what I'm saying. Okay, so probably not perfect, but I like the little highlight here. So if you want this area a little darker, you just take your pencil and then you can come in and use that technique of picking it up off your tip. Okay, I'm going to try one more thing here. I'm going to add a little bit more purple right here. I feel like I lost a petal here. I may have just done it too dark. I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes it looks really different when it dries. So I'm just cleaning my brush. So the other thing that Mia mentions is after you get this wet, and you could even dip your pencil into your water, you can dot on some detail. See how that activates your pencil? So I'm going to add some texture by dotting in some color. And that's what I also did that here. Okay, so let's do, I'm gonna lay that over there to dry. That's really, really coming off. The other thing that she mentioned was how she did this grass was just by drawing that in with the pencil. So how we do the background, and I think I'm just going to use, I used Bermuda Bay and Balmy Blue on this background. I'm going to try just the Balmy Blue. And she turned it sideways like this. So you're using the side of your lead and you just barely, just lightly add color. And if you have a dark strip, it's gonna be kind of dark in that spot. So you're just adding in that color and doing a wash. We're gonna do a wash with it. So I put on a lot less on this one than I did this first one. So I'm going to use a little bit, the medium brush, a little bit wider brush. I'm just gonna squeeze some water so my tip gets wet. Now you could dip it. And I'm gonna, you can actually squeeze the water even on your paper to get that pencil to activate and move that color around. And so it's very light. I don't think my wash comes out quite like hers. Maybe I'm not using enough water. So that's one thing about watercolor paper is you can just add more water and it'll start moving again. I hope you guys try this and see what kind of results you can get. So, let me see. I may add in a little bit more. It's still pretty wet. So when I put this color on, it's wet. So it activates really quickly. And then I'm going to move it around. I've got quite a bit of water on there. And I'm just going to add in where I want it darker. And I don't know where I'm going to cut this, so I might end up cutting part of this off. Now you can take, if you feel like you get it too saturated, you can take a paper towel and kind of soak up some of that water. And then use this again and and try to get this to move a little bit more. Mine definitely does not come out as smooth as everyone else's that I see. But like I said, when it dries, it's a beautiful texture. Okay, so then she also added in green. So you can add in a little green. And she actually did this before she did the wash with the blue. So you may want to do that. I did it kind of backwards. And I'm gonna grab some more water. I'm gonna activate that green and smooth it around. I just kind of want that blue and that green to blend a little bit. And I'm going to clean my brush here. And if it wipes clean, like this is clean, even though my tip is a little stained, that does not hurt anything. Okay. So, to get these weeds, she just went in and made lines like this. And you can use different colors. I didn't use brown on the first one. Not sure I love the brown. Let's use some Old Olive. So, I'm probably putting too many lines. When you see her video, hers is a really simple. It's very pretty. And I think mine's probably needs some work. But there you have it. I'm going to blend out some of that brown. I love that. Adding some water and moving it. And then I'm going to add in some more. Add in some more of that bright green. Just keep adjusting. Part may end up getting cut off anyways. We'll see. Oh, thank you. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know. It just depends on what you love. And as it dries, it's going to change. It's going to be a little different. Let's see. Now those dots that I added, all she did was activate the end, and she used the brown, and she activated the end by getting it wet and adding dots. I don't know that mine are very perfect. I think for me, it gets a little too wet when I there. What do you think? Maybe too much dottage, but I like it. True, Vicky, you could frame it. If you stamp in the middle, this one's not stamped in the middle, this one is. You could frame it. Wouldn't that be a pretty picture to give your friend or sit on your desk? Love it. Okay, but we are going to finish it into a card. Hopefully, we've got about 10 minutes before 10 o'clock, so I'm going to try to make it quick. I took a lot of time. Well, I took a little break to ask my kid to go outside too, but you know, that happens when you work at home, right? Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to move this over here to my cleaning pad so I don't spill it on me. I'm going to let this dry for a second. So, what do you guys think about Very Vanilla and then this? And then I'm thinking about just tearing this and layering it. What do you guys think about that? And I am going to finish this into a card sometime today, maybe, if I get a chance. Now this set has some really beautiful sayings. I love good luck. I just let it dry for a few minutes. It doesn't have to dry all day. You could watercolor it and let it sit. But it's already starting to dry. It's just a little damp, and it really depends on how much you saturate your paper. So I could let this sit, and then if I really hate a spot, I could reactivate it with some water. Yeah, I love tearing my pieces. I love that torn edge look. To me, it's kind of like finding something in a drawer that somebody tucked away and it's torn and worn. I love that. I love that look. Yeah, Jenny, sometimes Joe is comic relief, and sometimes I'm really distracted by him. So this has a thank you. I love this font. And guys, I did test out this little texture stamp. Let me show you my scrap over here. I think this is going to be really cool. Wouldn't it be really cool just to stamp your flower and just texture the background? Like a monochromatic card. You know, I love those. So when I do vintage, I always grab Crumb Cake and Very Vanilla. Those are my go-to colors. Let me move my pencils and stuff out of the way here. And we don't need that. And really, this watercolor paper is not a bright white. So when I tear this and I leave just this image, you're not going to, except for the few spots that it peeks through, it's not going to show all this white because we're going to get rid of that. I also have this gorgeous ribbon, right? And we have some metallic dots we could add in if we wanted. So let's see. It's still a little wet, but I think it'll be okay. You know, you could use your heat tool on this too. I don't have mine nearby, but you could pull out your heat tool and hit this for a few seconds and really set it and get it to dry. Thank you, Lucia. It's evening for you. Thanks for popping in. So, did you get this set? I'm really loving what I see other people do with this. So it really called to me just because it's that vintage feel. So I'm just gonna start tearing it. I'm not, I'm just tearing it all the way down. I'm gonna tear a little bit up here. Not sure how much or how big it's going to be. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is really wet, so I'm not sure how that will tear. How many of you like tearing your paper? Or does it make you nervous? Oh, Pam has this set too. So I may end up tearing a little bit more off, or maybe a little bit off up here. And you could even tear this a little bit. I love tearing lots of layers. And I may do that. I may tear this a little bit. I mean, it is... Oh, another thing you can do, if you don't like tearing your paper, you could take your snips and drag it on your edge and rough it up. How fun is that? Let's do that. I'm just going back and forth. It makes a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. And it's okay if it has gouges. We want it to, I want it to look vintagey. Like, it's well loved, it's worn. So I'm really, you guys think. You can also crumple it a little bit to get even more texture. Or fold the edge, curl the edge. That's another thing I like to do. And then we can, I think I'm gonna tear this a little bit more. Let's see. And I'm going to angle it. What do you guys think? Do you like the vintage feel? Should we add a piece of ribbon? And you know, I need something to kind of do my, I guess this white is showing, but if that bothered you, I guess you could go back into your colors and kind of add some color to the edge. I'm fine with it. I don't mind this. You could also use a colored base. Thank you. Yeah, so we can add ribbon. And if you don't want to wrap ribbon around, you can just add ribbon under your sentiment, which I'm gonna go grab a piece of Very Vanilla so I can cut a scrap. Or maybe we should do one of the labels. Where's those dies? What do I do with them? So the other saying is, sending healing thoughts, may nature's beauty bring peace to your soul. That's a beautiful sentiment. I'm actually making a card for somebody who is not feeling well right now. She's fighting pneumonia, and I want to send her a card. So what do you guys think about that saying? Sending healing thoughts, may nature's beauty bring peace to your soul. What do you guys think? I think this card should be for her, and I'm going to practice. And of course, when you love my video, when you participate in my video, and when you share my video, I draw 3 names to get a card from me. So I'm going to do some more watercoloring, and 3 people are going to get a watercolored card from me. But I think this one I want to send to my acquaintance. I don't really know her that well, but I know that she's sick, and I'd love to send her a card to help cheer her up. So what do you guys think? Hello, Xana. So sending healing thoughts, and this die is for that. So I'm going to grab a scrap piece of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to stamp that on there. trying to think of a color. The hair sand's very light. So I'm thinking soft suede or early espresso. In keeping with the vintage theme, I want to use a brown. So what do you guys think? Early espresso or soft suede? Okay, I'm going to cut this in half here because guess what I'm going to use? I want to use my new little mini die cut machine. So I'm going to use, I cut that down so that I could fit it in there. Okay, soft suede looks like it's winning. Yeah, I do like soft suede. It's a very beautiful brown. I love using it. Okay, and we're going to, I'm going to lay this to the side just a little bit. Get that away from the water. And I'm going to use that Sending Healing Thoughts. Grab a block here. And I can't promise I did put my stickers on straight, but I guess the good part is I'm gonna die cut it. So if I get it sideways, it's okay because I can still die cut it. Okay. And we don't need that piercing mat because this is a red rubber set. Just making sure I got all of it inked. Let's hope I stamped it down far enough that this die is gonna go like that. Oh my gosh, you guys, this set is perfect. I love it. I love this. And this can be a summer flower. So even though this is coming out for, in my opinion, kind of like a fall set, it complements that quiet meadow beautifully. So here's my little mini machine, and let's see, I haven't used it yet, so you guys get to experience this right along with me. So it has the little instructions and guide on what to do, how to use it, in all the languages. But the best part, let me move some of this stuff over, the best part is platform 1 tells you what you need to be doing. So to cut out, I need 1, number 2, then I need, it's too wide. Oh, let me trim an inch off. I guess it's 3 inches. I cut it at 4. Trim just a little bit off. I have my trimmer backwards than how I normally do it. So okay, so there we go. Now it fits. And then I'm gonna put this right here. Now, we do not have magnetic plates, so I like to use a little piece of, it's called Post-it labeling and cover-up tape. And I like it because it's not too sticky. So if you have it and it's too sticky, maybe put it onto your shirt or something and de-stick it, or whatever they call that. I'm just trying to line it up so it's straight. We all know I don't do very good with straight. It just happens. Okay. I can't really tell. I think that's good. So I'm gonna put this down there so it doesn't move on me. And then to cut, we use plate 2. So if you're embossing something, and we do have some skinny embossing folders, this won't work with all the embossing folders, but we have the regular embossing folder and then we have the 3D. So this mini comes with all the plates you need. Now let's feed it through. And I'm trying to be careful because I have coffee and water everywhere. Let's hope that I taped it down straight. Ooh. There's our first cut with the new one. And then I just peel this off. And this little piece of tape, I like to stick right here. And it's ready for the next time that I need to die cut something. And then I'm gonna fold, oh, that's kind of loud, isn't it? Fold up the sides and just put them down here next to me. So if you've never used the cut and emboss machine, when you run your die through, it does leave an impression on your plate, your bottom plate that you're cutting on top of. So don't let this freak you out when you see this on your plate. It does etch it. It leaves a cut in it. So that is perfectly normal. All right, so let's bring this back over. I probably messed up my angle. That's okay. I'm gonna try this. Try it again. And then we can put our sentiment right down here. Maybe cover up a little bit of that, that brown pencil that I didn't love that I stuck on there. Let's see, what other color could have I used? Yeah, we don't have a crumb cake. But I will tell you that crushed curry, even though it's a yellow, it's a real dark yellow, it has a very brown tint, and so that would have been good too. That's what I used on that top part. So, do we want to add the ribbon? Or do you think, because we have it torn and all that, what do you think? So we could add just under the sentiment, like this. Or off-centered, or off a little bit. What do you guys think? Ribbon or no? Oh, I could wrap it around. You know what would go great with this too? The linen thread, I think. Or we have this pack that has crumb cake. These twines. Everybody's saying no ribbon. So we also have this. So you could combine these two. Or even a bow. I might have to. I do like the ribbon. I'm just trying to see if what I might like. And this is how I play. So if you're ever in my craft room and you see me crafting, this is pretty much what I do. I lay things out and I test them. Don't think you got to get it right the first 2 or 3 times. It doesn't, it's okay if it takes you a minute to decide what you like. And then we also have this. We also have this crumb cake. It's almost like these are tied together. We don't want them to get lost from each other. I have so many ideas with this ribbon. My mind's exploding right now. So I'm going to cut a little piece off. I kind of think that too. I tend to like to layer, and sometimes my things get lost. So we could make a simple card, and then as I play, I may just add more. Maybe if I didn't have a sentiment on the front, this would work. So I'm gonna have to try it, Lucia. I'm gonna have to try it on some, because I definitely want to pair this with it. I don't know why, that's just, and just so you know, this Baker Twines Essential Pack, it has a very vanilla in there too. So you get crumb cake, you get basic white, you get black, you get very vanilla, and you get, I think this is gray. Let me tell you, it doesn't say on the pack. Let me tell you in the catalog really quick. It's in the ribbon and trim section. So on 140, we have the Baker's Twines Essential, and it's black, gray granite, very vanilla, crumb cake, and white. And you get quite a bit in there. So this is gray granite, which I like to use gray granite for vintage as well. Okay, so let's keep this one simple. And then as I play, I'm gonna really step it up, and I will post my results. So I love all of your opinions. I do. Okay, let's just keep this one simple because it's already after 10. So I'm going to glue this down. I've got a lot of frayed pieces. I'm going to use my trusty liquid glue. Whenever I have a piece that I have really roughed up or I've embossed, I like to use either tear and tape or the liquid glue, because the liquid glue is really strong, and it allows you to move it a little bit. I'm gonna do this a little bit off. I know it's crooked. I want it that way. And I didn't secure the edges really well, because I'm okay if it's lifting, because I want it to be like it's just kind of floating there. And then I'm going to put this piece, I think, really, really angled. Again, I'm not going to put my glue all the way to the edge. I'm just going to do the middle, but I want it to be very sturdy and stay. The seal just probably will not hold this enough because of all the texturing, and this was wet. So, it's probably a little more angled than I had it the first time, but I like it. So I have just my glue in the middle. I want this to really stay down. And then I'm actually going to use dimensionals on this. Down here across the bottom. So I want this one towards the end. Cut these right here. Because I want this to really stick and hold on like that. So I have so many ideas. I hope I get a lot more time to play. Today we have a lot going on, but in the next couple days, this is on my list. And of course, don't forget to share this with your friends. If you have somebody who you think would love card making, or maybe they're already a card maker and they would like to see this video, don't forget to share it with them. There we go. So I purposefully let my ends kind of be loose. And then I love this. This has a little detail that showed up around the edge too. I don't know if that's because I just have a new machine or if that was on purpose with the dies. But I love how this turned out. Thank you guys for helping me in this creative process of mine, creating this card. And thanks for letting me share my watercoloring experience with you. Like I said, I'm not by any means an expert. This was my first attempt using some of those tips from Mia Selena. I think I'm not sure where she is. I don't know if she's in Australia, but I will link her video because it's wonderful. And I love all these products that are in the Harvest Meadow Suite. So here's the stamp set again so you can see. This is called Nature's Harvest. It comes, you can get the stamp set or the bundle. When you buy a bundle, you get 10% off. So if you are thinking that you want the dies at all or in the future, it is a good idea to go ahead and invest in the bundle because you'll save 10%. And FYI, if you're a demonstrator, that's in addition, 10% in addition to the discount you already get. So if you're planning on buying a ton of things out of this mini catalog, you're going to want to take advantage of the join bonus right now that you can get. Let me grab the join bonus. So during celebration, you can get your $125 worth of product for $99. Excellent value. Especially if you're going to spend $100 or more. And then you can pick one of these bundles from the July to December mini for free. And guess what's on there? Nature's Harvest. So you can get more bang for your buck. So if you're interested in that, you can message me and I'll let you know how you can join. You can join at bethroy.stampinup.net. You can also shop if you want to buy these new products at bethroy.stampinup.net. So you can click shop now, join. There's some other resources there. And this is my August host code if your order is under $150. I greatly appreciate those orders. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you. I'm so happy that you love the card. Oh, thanks, Pam. I need to add a little bit more here. My sentiment's not staying down. Every once in a while as it dries, you see where you might need some more. Oh, let me show you a quick tip. If you don't want to get out your liquid glue, right? If you're like me, you get really messy. Grab your glue dots and take your pick tool and just tuck a glue dot in there or two. So I just take a glue dot and I'm going to tack that down just a tad. Because I want it to come up, but I don't want my sentiment to fly off my page. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. You mean on the card, Vicki, that I give away? Mimic it on the card? I will. I will probably make something very close to this that I'm going to send. So I just tacked down those corners a little bit more with my glue dots. So it's still loose. It still has that, I like a messy feel to my cards sometimes. That's just my style. So if you don't like that, you can always tack it down more. Don't feel like you have to do it exactly like me. That's the beauty in creating our own cards. Thank you, Jarvetta. You know, I love sharing all of this with you. And Pam, I can't wait to see what you do with yours. I can't wait to see. So, thank you all. I hope you have a great day. I'm going to go enjoy the sunshine and get our things ready for our party. And I will definitely play more, maybe tomorrow, but I will have some cards to give away. So make sure you love the video. If you loved this, let me know what you think. Hopefully you gained some great tips. Like I said, I will link Mia's video. I just loved her tips and how she explained them. She does such a beautiful job. So you definitely deserve to see her video. And I am definitely going to be playing with this. That texture, I just love it. I just love it. I don't even know what it's supposed to be, but it's gorgeous. So everyone have a great day, and I look forward to crafting with you again soon. I'll show you a little sneak peek of what I'm going to use next, and it's going to be maybe Monday evening. I'd love to get together and in our pajamas. It's going to be late, like I'm thinking 9, so I'm sorry if that's too late. You can always catch the replay, but this was what we're going to play with on Monday. This Wild Roses. So make sure you watch out for that, and we can play together again soon. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate it, and thank you so much for sending me the video and sharing what you found with me. There are so many creative people in this world that I love seeing what other people do. And everybody kind of gains their own tips along the way with trial and error. And some people actually do this. They're professional artists. And so I love seeing that. So thank you for sharing that with me so I could share it with everybody else. So I will see you guys soon. Have a great weekend. Take care.